Hi, my name is Lisa Robyn Wood and I'm the founder of Grip Corporate Coaching, performance coaching and training for leaders, managers and individuals in London and Oxfordshire. What I wanted to talk to you about today in this little video is the technique of finding inspiration in others to trigger creativity and action. It's a method that we talk about in coaching called acting as if. And it's about when you have moments where you're looking for ideas, you're looking for ways in which to move yourself forward differently, perhaps try some different things because you're feeling stuck with the methods you've been using previously and you're just not able to see the way forward. And you're encouraged to identify someone else who you know of, whether that be someone you're really close to, like a family or friend, or a celebrity or a person of importance who you can learn from and ultimately mimic what you learn from them to be able to create new ways of working for yourself. So it's actually a way of copying that is positive and one I would celebrate rather than the opposite. So for example, I have been looking at individuals for inspiration as we start this new year to give me ideas, and I thought I'd share a few of those with you right now. So my first one is Tina Turner, who I truly think is incredible and her story is amazing. I was recently reading the latest edition of Red magazine, so I find inspiration in all sorts of places. This isn't necessarily about academia or being someone who, you don't have to be a really strong or particularly keen reader, as it were. You can literally find inspiration anywhere. So don't be held back by that or concerned by that. You may find inspiration from Instagram if you're a particular fan of social media like I am, or films or people in your community. It's literally in many ways starting with just being really open-minded and curious and being aware. But yeah, so my first one is Tina. Good old Tina. And she's talking in Red magazine. This was January 2021 edition, about a book that she's releasing, which is called Happiness Becomes You. I haven't read it yet. It might be on my book list. It depends. I've got quite a few on my book list at the moment. But I'm going to take some direct quotes from her, if that's all right, and just read them out for you. So it's under the title of Self-Care Isn't a Luxury, It's a Duty. And she says, I gain strength from my belief that I, like you and everyone else in this world, have a unique purpose in life that only we can fulfill. She goes on to say, I remind myself during tough times of this, and I do whatever I can to lift myself up and stay on track. So she then goes on to say ways in which that she supports herself with self-care. She goes for a stroll, reads, spends time with friends, obviously something we'd all like to do right now, but obviously in a post-COVID world you possibly can. Listening to music, which she says helps rejuvenate her, totally does for me as well, and I've talked about that in a video before. So she finishes this with, care for yourself and do whatever wholesome practices lifts you up. If you aren't taking care of your own needs, you won't have much to offer others. So I found that really helpful. I often say, I think care starts with yourself. When you're strong, you can help other people. So that's Tina's bit of wisdom that's helping me at the moment. Another amazing female is Dolly Parton. Just love Dolly so much. Be more Dolly, that's my current mantra. Be more Dolly. And this article actually comes from an old edition of the Sunday Times magazine, one of my personal favourites, that came out on the 22nd of November in 2020. But I tend to save these things up and then I read them when I've got time. So I've read it recently. And she talks a lot actually, and there's so many quotes I could take. But one of my favourites, she's nearly 75, or I think she's just turned 75 actually, is she says, I'd rather wear out than rust out. You only have one life. And she has such an incredible work ethic. It's unbelievable. And she has worked so hard her whole life and continues to do so. And I really love that quote of she's going to continue working because, well, I get a real sense she enjoys it. But as she says, we've only got one life. And actually she'd much rather that she wears out rather than screeches to a halt slowly, like rust, and is not able to do anything anymore. I also love this quote, this other quote that I've taken from her, and this is, people say, do you ever lose your temper? I say no, but sometimes I have to use it. I'm no pushover. That's why I'm where I'm at today as a businesswoman. Be more Dolly. That's my mantra that I'm taking from that one. And then the last one I'm going to finish with, I bought Time for the first time at Christmas because I wanted something different to read. And I've been fascinated following the journey of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in America. And they are the Times Person of the Year, so obviously it's people, which they do annually. And to be honest, just reading it in general was just so inspiring, and looking at how they're tackling change, and at a time where America is so divided and there's so much conflict between people in society, but they're tackling change, they're being bold, they're being brave. I think at times like that, it really puts into perspective what the rest of us are facing, not belittling it in any way. That's not what I'm saying, because we're all living our own lives and are all have very different experiences, and everything we go through is relevant and it means something to us. So I'm not belittling that. But I think I often find reading other people's challenges and stories at times can help ground me better and give me perspective to help me therefore find the right solutions for me at that time and put myself in a better mental state to do so. So that's more why I'm sharing that. But anyway, my point being is that this act of identifying others that can inspire you, give you ideas, teach you ways in which to be, if you like, can be so helpful at a time when you're potentially feeling a bit stuck and at a loss of ideas. And as I said, you can find them wherever. It's just being aware and open-minded to that. If you're interested in this or anything else I've spoken about, or just coaching or leadership training in general, then you can visit my website, gripcoaching.co.uk, to learn more.